Hey everyone, and welcome to another pre-book reviews video. So as you can tell from my background, I am in my new location. For those of you who weren't maybe paying close enough attention, I did mention that I was moving clear across the country. I went from Central Florida all the way over to Northern California, and me and my husband actually did a road trip, so I will insert a couple of pictures. A lot of fun. We had so many adventures, saw so many new things that I don't think I'll ever see again unless I do another road trip, which I might actually do, but this time without a trailer or a dog. So although we were busy moving, I did manage to get some books read. I never actually read any physical books because with traveling it was really hard to read an actual physical copy of a book. So I did listen to a lot of audiobooks. I think the last book that you guys knew I was listening to was Strange the Dreamer by Laini Taylor. That was 18 hours and 20 minutes, and I finished that. I think when I told you guys I was almost done with it, so that was before I left. I managed to finish listening to that, and then immediately after that one, I finished Words of Radiance by Brandon Sanderson. That is the second book in the Stormlight archive, just in time for the anticipated third book release, which I don't know when that comes out. So after I finished Words of Radiance, I was going through some YouTube channels, watching some recommendations, and this particular fantasy book has been getting lots of hype lately, especially since the third book recently got released, and so I decided to check out the hype for myself. And that book is The Fifth Season by N.K. Jemisin, and I really enjoyed this book. It did take me some time to get into because the narrative is kind of confusing at first. It goes between third person point of view and second person point of view, and it skips around a lot, and it also skips around in time too. You go back in the past, and then you're back in the present, and then you're back in the past. So, but once I got in the hang of the pattern of the narrative, I really enjoyed it. I think I ended up giving it a 3.5 to 4 stars on Goodreads. I can't remember, only just because of the confusion with the narrative, but the actual story was fantastic and the ending was really good, so I will be continuing that series. Now that I'm settled, I do want to pick up the physical copies for those books. I finished that, I would say, a few days ago, maybe a week ago. The book that I am currently listening to and absolutely loving, and it will be finished today, is The Shadow of What Was Lost by James Islington. This fantasy book is probably one of my top favorite reads that I've read this year so far. It is so fantastic, and it's also, if you listen to it on Audible, it's narrated by Michael Kramer, who is the same narrator who does all or most of Brandon Sanderson's books, and he's just a fantastic reader, and I love listening to him. So the fact that he does this particular book is amazing because the story and the magic kind of has a Brandon Sanderson feel to it, and being that I love Brandon Sanderson so much and his stories, this is just right up my alley. And I have to thank Kitty G, I think that's her channel name, for suggesting this book because I am hooked, and I have 3 hours and 20 minutes left, which I will be finishing today, and I'll probably go on to the second book. I can't remember the title of it, but I know it's out, so I will definitely be jumping straight into that. It is such a good book, you guys, seriously. If you're looking for the next thing after the Mistborn trilogy, or just the next biggest adult fantasy, read that one. So now that I am settled in a place, I do have 2 physical books that I'm currently reading. I just started them though, and I don't know which one I'll be focusing on because I'm kind of like flip-flopping in between what I feel like reading. So the first one is Truth Witch by Susan Dennard, and right now I am literally maybe 30 pages into this book, so I still don't know a whole lot about it. All I've been told is that it is a really good YA fantasy, and it has two main female leads with a really good female friendship portrayal in here, so I'm looking forward to it. Also, I already own the sequel, so if I really enjoy it, I can jump straight into the sequel. The other one that I'm kind of like flipping between because I'm not sure what I feel like is Warbreaker by Brandon Sanderson. Again, I'm just trying to read through all of his books, so I have not read Warbreaker yet. And at first I thought it was a standalone, but I found out recently that he is writing a sequel for this. It's just that it's not going to be out anytime soon, and you can read this as a standalone if you want. I've been told it holds up as a standalone pretty well by itself, and again, I'm also not that far into it. All I know is that there's a really cool magical system, because what Brandon Sanderson book doesn't have a really good magical system in it, in which it has to do with colors. The type of magic they do is called breathing, I think. Something about using your breath to take in colors, and the colors do different things, and I still, again, am in the beginning, so I'm not 100% sure about it, but I'm really enjoying it. This is an adult fantasy, so between the two, I'm kind of flip-flopping because do I want to delve into like a dense fantasy, or do I just want something light and easy to read? So I don't know yet. But I'm really enjoying both of them, and they will both get read. I just don't know which one I want to start with. That's all. So that is what I've been up to lately. What have you all been reading? Let me know in the comments down below, and I will talk to you guys later. Bye!